Hi, my name is Jenny Lauren Dowden for Conduit News, and today we have Kelly Procter Pierce joining us again in the studio as she is running for State Senate District 27. Hi.
How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming back in.
Well, thank you for having me.
Before we get into the issues, talk to us about your campaign and how it's going.
Oh, it's going wonderful. I'm very excited. I'm just thrilled with the response that I'm getting from the people. I'm doing a lot of door-to-door, and the people really seem to appreciate that I'm actually out there and they're able to put a face with a name and shake a hand, and it's just fabulous.
What are you hearing as you're going door-to-door? What are the voters there telling you?
The biggest thing that they're concerned about is that when they vote for someone who calls themselves a Republican, that they're actually not voting Republican. They're very concerned about the RINO, Republican in name only, and they really want to make sure that they stop being deceived into voting for what they call RINOs.
I think that you're right. They're right. That is a major issue, has been here in the Arkansas legislature for quite a number of years. Conduit has recently written several articles about that, but talk to us about what that looks like. We have a lot of Republicans either new in this primary race or running for re-election. They have the R beside their name, but do they subscribe to the tenets of the Republican Party? Talk to us about that.
Okay. Well, most of the Republicans that are in there now, they do a really good job voting pro-life in support of the Second Amendment and the social issues, but then it's as if they've gone off the rails when it comes to lower taxation, less regulation, more freedom. Instead, we see a consistent pattern of voting for every tax that the governor asked them to vote for, and that they vote every time to make government grow instead of smaller. And yes, we have to function on tax dollars, but those tax dollars need to be used efficiently.
You made a very good point. A lot of the Republicans here in Arkansas tackle the social issues, and they'll say, let's talk about those social issues. Yes. I voted for this and this, yes, and this and this. And then they completely ignore all of the 7+ tax increases that they also might have voted for. Why do you think that these RINOs focus so much in on the social issues and don't talk about their economic record? Don't you think that Arkansans have wised up a bit to that?
Yes. Because they're bought and paid for by special interest. They do the bidding of the people who contribute to their campaign and who lobby them. And that is people who do want taxes increased. That's people who do want government to grow. And they forget that they represent the people, that they don't represent the special interest. But unfortunately, they've decided that it's more lucrative for them to represent special interests.
I'm going to make a comparison and tell me if you agree with this or not and why. Recently in Florida, of course, DeSantis, the lawmakers there have rejected the special rights that the Disney Corporation enjoy there in that great state. You're seeing the legislature there push back on all fronts. Some may argue we have our own Disney, if you will, here in Arkansas, being the Walton Foundation, Walmart Corp., and then a few other large companies. Do you think that our legislature cares more about lining their pockets?
Absolutely.
Rather than pushing back? And how do we get to where Florida is saying, Disney, we don't care about your money. Walmart, we don't care about your money. We care about the interest of the people here in our state. What do we do?
Well, you vote people in office who are not career politicians, who are there to represent you, and you hold them accountable. And one of the things that I would like to do when I'm elected is to give information to my constituents. And that is to have a website available for them to go to do email blasts, to text those people who desire that information, and let them know up front what's coming up, what's in committee, what's being considered, what's been filed, and how do you want me to vote on it? What are your concerns? Not just have a constituent after a bill has passed and say, call you up and say what happened and say, well, I had to do this, or, I didn't hear from anybody. And the constituents say, but I didn't know. We need to stop that. The constituents need to know up front. That's who we represent.
Talk to us about why you are the true conservative. What do people need to know about you? Early voting is very soon. What would you like to say about that?
Well, I'm not a RINO. I'm not a Republican in name only. And I would not support the tax increases that have been passed under our current administration for the last 8 years. The gas tax, the tire tax, the water fee tax, the internet sales tax. I could go on,
right?
But I support, along with the social issues, along with the being pro-life and in support of the Second Amendment, I believe we can have less taxation. We can work on eliminating our sales tax on groceries. We can work on eliminating state income tax. And we can look at things that we have, contracts that we have, for example, with middle management that are managing our government programs, eliminate that and stop increasing our taxes, and at the same time, reduce the size of government.
Well, thank you for coming on Conduit. Always great insight. I'm also hearing that people there in the River Valley are excited to simply have a choice.
Yes, they are. Thank you.
Well, come back soon. Thank you, Kelly.